Well, welcome to today's wealth training. What I'm going to be talking with you today is I want to share with you the 5 factors for you to analyze the long-term fit and viability of any partnership. Now, before you go into a partnership, it's the time to go through all 5 of these factors. I know some of you might very well be in business partnerships or joint venture relationships with people or other companies where you haven't gone through this. Well, you can do it retroactively, but the time to think this through is before you get married, so to speak. But here are the 5 key factors. Number 1, values. Do you and this other person or this other business entity share consistent and similar values? Do you both fundamentally move in the same direction when you think about things? How do you deal with things like what's most important to you, how you treat people, clients, how you treat staff? Really being clear that you share common values. Number 2, the second factor is how do you deal with conflict? One of the key areas that I would recommend that you look at is how does this other person or this other business deal with conflict? And the best way to look at this is to look at their track record. Talk with people that they've had conflict with. Do they do it in a win-win fashion? Do they get adversarial and bring in the attorneys immediately? Do they get aggressive? Do they go passive? How do they deal with that? I mean, there is no right or wrong way to do it. You just want to go in knowing that how they dealt with conflict in the past is how they will deal with conflict in the future. The third factor to look through is work ethic. There are many different businesses that you might consider joint venturing with or business people that you might want to partner with that you might have a mismatch on the work ethic side of how they think things should be done. Number 4, the fourth factor, this is a non-negotiable, integrity. Integrity. Do you trust this other person or this other company? And is that trust based on an emotional gut reaction, or is it based upon a relationship that you've established with that person beforehand? One of the best pieces of advice that I could ever give you about business partnerships or joint venture relationships that you're entering into is enter into them slowly. It's the 5th area for you to look at, or the 5th factor to determine the long-term fit of any business partnership or joint venture is vision. Do you both share a similar vision, both for what the joint venture is and for what you expect out of the joint venture? Another mismatch, if you're not careful, is to make sure you're both on the same page for what that business, if it was working perfectly, what would it look like? What would it be like? What would the outcome it would produce be like? Also, what would be the process that it would actually use to get there? And being clear on what it is, the outcome that you're trying to create, so both of you as partners are on the same page with that going in. These are the 5 factors that I say that really determine the viability long-term of any business partnership that you do.